of the generator. The smallest is capable of generating 12.1 kilowatts of power with a load of 6,000 watts, using only 21 watts input energy. The team believes.
So, 12.1 kilowatts with a 6,000 watt load. Input 21 watts. That's 300 to 1. Powering that load. And 300 to 1 is what Bing Crosby Foundation closely is similar to what they had measured. The EV Gray motor was a COP of about 290 to 1 or 280, somewhere in that vicinity. So obviously what's going on here is a Nathan Stubblefield earth battery or EV Gray motor via Richard Hackenberger of later design replication or reincarnation, shall we say, a reincarnation, because an electrostatic field serving as a reference voltage is added to an electromagnetic circuit to help give that circuit a reference from which to draw, so that the circuit's not relying on its own and the laws of physics are not being violated. It's just we're not paying for that extra input of energy. It's coming from another source. I did find one YouTube video in which he did not do the recommendation on energetic form, which was bypass direct coupling to the house neutral wiring, because if you make use of that, you're liable to draw energy from the grid without realizing it, and it'll be bypassing the mains meter, which of course is stealing energy from the power company, which they may not like if they, well, they certainly won't like it if they should discover what you're doing. So they recommend bypassing that altogether and using your own independent grounding rods, independent ground source, independent of the house neutral, which is a good, piece of advice. But it certainly does parallel. The output, the COP of 300, certainly parallels the COP of the EV Gray motor, showing that I think they're one and the same animal, pretty much. And I'm sure the Nathan Stubblefield earth battery is the same thing, because he called it not a battery, but a capturing device to capture energy from, or collect, he called it a collector, not a battery. Whether we call it a captor in the case of Barbosa and Leal, or whether we call it a collector, it amounts to the same synonymous concept. So we're still dealing with the same phenomenon, the phenomenon of those two devices. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Tesla trimetal generator is the same is a similar incarnation, similar animal. It would be hard to think otherwise, because I'm always trying to put it in the guise of something that already exists, because it's hard to define what the Tesla trimetal generator is. So, who knows, maybe it's something else. But this certainly is like the Nathan Stubblefield earth battery and the EV Gray motor. There's no question about it. The only difference being this Barbosa and Leal captor device and the Nathan Stubblefield earth battery is a fixed device, fixed to one location, while the EV Gray motor is mobile, because they understood what they were dealing with, an electrostatic field surrounding the circuitry, and they integrated the two into each other. But here they're using the earth as a reference, as a voltage reference, and it's a large enough connection to the earth, provided you have scores of grounding rods. If you have a forest of trees, that's probably just as good, or an orchard of many, many trees, or grapevines. If you've got something that, well, maybe not grapevine. It's got to be, well, it might work with a bush or a kind of setting. I think a tree would be better, especially conifers are my favorite. Anyway, I just thought I can't help repeating myself. This is so fascinating.